you see, you are busy in how to say, debate with people here, while we are doing the job and cleaning the Holy Land from the Islamic occupation.
So how is this debunking my
So
claim?
waste your time.
How is this
Okay, gypsies, it's my turn.
You want to win in Clubhouse and on the
No, how is this debunking my claim? How is it debunking my claim? Sure, you can say you can run your mouth all you want. How is this debunking my claim?
Hold on. I want to let Prince speak. Got 90 seconds, guys.
I want to respond to Wizard and for making a claim about propaganda that people who are pro-Palestine side are propagandized, and Jill made a reference to that as well. And I find it really funny, ironic, and contradictory. Why do I find it that? Well, I bet you $100 to say people who are talking about propaganda are people who support Donald Trump, or people who support certain right-wing elements in certain Western countries. The question is, how did these people get into power? 20 years ago, it would have been impossible for Donald Trump to come into power. Why? Because mainstream media controlled the narrative. And the same standard applies to Palestine. Mainstream media in the West, especially in the United States, controlled the narrative about Palestine in favor of Israel. The advent of social media gave people globally more access to information. Here's the funny part. What people...
Boom! Boom. Who boomed the room? Who boomed? Okay, this is called Boom Who Boomed. This is Dr. Wizard. I boomed that room. That was me. Don't tell anybody, but it was me. Who boomed the room? Boom, 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 boom. Who boomed the room? Who boomed the room? Boom, boom, boom. Who boomed the room? Who boomed the room? Boom, 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 boom. Who boomed the room? It was me. Shh, don't tell anybody. I think I want to just go into music, to tell you the truth, and just like record like comedy. It's so smart to just like get into music, but maybe I should just like dedicate some time to actually trying to record some music. Go into my other room and set up some recording devices and just like chat GPT out some lyrics or something and live stream and create some clips. Damn, that's so smart. Just get into music. Music is like, you can say everything there in the same way that you can do it in comedy, but it's even more hypnotic. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Should we start that today? Should we start? The band's getting back together. Oh my God, the band is getting back together. Okay, this is called The Band is Getting Back Together. Dr. Mahmoud, the band is getting back together, Dr. Mahmoud.
Power rush. Bull rush.
Doc has arrived. The band is getting back together, Doc. You're our lead singer. I don't know if you know that. You're my number one singer, actually. I have you singing some good riffs, but what we're gonna do is I'm putting a band together for my campaign. And
yes.
Powerball.
I want to be a singer. I want to be a vocalist.
Really?
Yeah. Welcome back, Doctor.
Doctor. What was Spies Like Us?
Doctor.
It was Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. Spies Like Us. Yeah, hell yeah, I love that movie.
Damn, that's an old one. I mean, not old, but like that reference.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
My favorite is Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. That movie has like every element of.
It's like hold on, that pork belly. It's like everybody got all that money and they got all them things and they don't need nothing. They got to let you down to like 62, and then you got a Mortimer. He done saved us millions of dollars. Dude, but at the end of what was that? Boomerang? No, it wasn't Boomerang. It was when they came back to the Queens, Coming to America. And at the end of that, he gives a couple $50,000 to Mortimer. And he's like, Mortimer, we're back! He gives the money to them at the end of the movie. And it was kind of like an homage to Trading Spaces. Or Places. Aykroyd and Murphy, yeah, that was a dope movie. We don't get no movies like that no more.
I know, that's why they're so special, because they could remake those movies, to tell you the truth. Like, those are.
You couldn't do it right.
It doesn't matter. People would show up for it because it's like introducing the next generation, the parents introducing them to the same movie. That's the whole thing. It's all just repeating itself already. You know it's true. You know that it's true. I'm just suggesting.
Dude, I remember, I think one of the very first movies I ever saw and that I can remember, I was at a drive-in movie theater, and my parents took me in a convertible car, and I watched Animal House with John Belushi, Jim Belushi. I don't know which one's which. The one that died. But it was Animal House. And then, throughout my life, I remember that everyone's shouting in like my mid-20s, when they made that movie Van Wilder, with Ryan Reynolds, and it was literally just a rematch of Animal House. There's nothing new under the sun, like you always say. Do we know this guy? Doc, yeah. I can't say myself.
Yeah. Doc, I'm in a room called Love is the Message. I'm with Dr. Ann, Dr. Brock, Dr. Messenger.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm putting the band back together, everybody. We've become a musician today. We're playing music.
I've been doing things, don't know what you want to say about it. I'll be doing everything like that with you. I'll tell you like a white boy, I tell you like a black.
Love is the message. Love is the way. I have a question for the room. What is the source of love?
The remove button for me right now.
Self-deleting.
She kicked. Why did she kick?
She self-deleted.
Why did she kick?
Oh Lord, she did not understand the intention of what I was saying.
You think Kim was gonna close down the room because you were speaking out of office?
Why else?
Who boomed the room? Who boomed the room? Why did they boom the room?
Okay, no interrupt. We're back, and Prince has got the floor. You got a minute and a half.
No, I just wanted to say that it's very ironic for people to accuse the pro-Palestine side of propaganda. And they do that for a very specific reason, is that the majority of the world populace is pro-Palestine. The Million March protests in Western capital have been for Palestine. I've not seen a single one for so-called Israel. Israel is not popular. Israel is the pariah of the world. More and more people today are hating on Israel than they did in the past. Now, people want to say, oh, they're brainwashed and propagandized across cultures, continents, languages, countries, etc.
You know
The
what
funny
the
part,
difference is?
nobody asked you, monkey,
Guys, don't interrupt.
monkey, take your banana. Nobody asked you.
Monkey, take your banana. Nobody asked you.
Let him finish.
You know, the same people who probably talk about this are people who advocate for Donald Trump, or people who advocate for, like in Gil's situation.
We're gonna remember that one, monkey, take your banana. We're gonna attack him with that and call him a
That 20
racist.
years ago would have been impossible to hear of, or impossible to be even on the ballot. And guess what? If Trump was running 20 years ago, he would have lost. Why did Trump win? Social media, access to information. That's what people have. And when people
So then people won.
media,
The truth apparently won. Okay, so we're gonna attack him on racism, and then we're gonna attack him on propaganda versus truth information and political outcomes.
The people became pro-Palestine. It is actually the other way around.
He's
It's not
an
that people are
anarcho-capitalist,
propagandized today.
probably.
It's that people were propagandized back then when they were
And
pro-Palestine
anarcho-communist.
because they didn't know any better. Because their narrative was controlled by mainstream media. By the same token, when Trump and his controversial stances took hold in the United States and the world, right? He won. He won the presidency not once, twice.
I'm using emojis. I'm using emojis, and it's like distracting me.
Okay, we're gonna thank you. But who wants to?
Give me a go.
Go ahead.
Thank you, my brother. I just want to say this whole pro-Palestine stand.
This is Achik. I don't know if you know Achik, but he's like a very nice person.
You cannot imagine back in
He's super nice
before
guy.
the state existed, all of
No.
the Semitic people.
They'll kick me. They'll kick me if I unmute.
Everything else, I'm just so happy
The
that
band is getting back together, dude. World premiere, worldwide.
They're winning. Before that, the time to kill Jews.
It's kind of funny. Prince just pops in, says his propaganda, then leaves.
Now they can fight back. People like this keep saying, oh, I've known some friends in real life that with my pro-Israeli stand, they told me I don't want to speak to them. They don't want to speak to me anymore. I told them against that. Because being anti-Semitic is cool. Now, even just finished university and everything. I'm just like, people like you in 4 or 5 years are just gonna be the same rigid assholes. I don't know why they call him that. It's gonna be the same thing. I'm so glad there's a state of Israel. I'm so thankful to the good Lord Jesus Christ. I know you're Jewish, you don't believe in Jesus, but I do. And I'm just so happy because
This is Achik. This is the Achik moment. Everybody gets 90 seconds here.
Anti-Semitic or Sunkum, wherever they are around the world, they can speak all that bullshit, whatever. They can't really do anything. All they can do is talk shit online. Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Judea and Samaria will be a part of Israel. They'll apply to it hopefully this year or hopefully next year. And hopefully do with Gaza. They gotta do what Gaza do. And things are looking well, you know. So many people show many respect. All these disgusting, simpleton anti-Semites are gonna go with the wind. The ones they fought. When the Jewish people dealt with the Nazis, they dealt with the Romans, they dealt with the Spanish Inquisition. You really think Gaza is a big problem? It was only less than 80 years ago they dealt with the Holocaust. You really think Hamas is going to destroy the state of Israel or Hezbollah when they're destroyed, or Iran? Fuck no. So I just want to say that I'm so thankful there's a state of Israel finally. There's so many ways of it. 2,500 years, correct me. Beautiful thing to see, and we'll support you, and you'll keep winning. And all these sick anti-Semites will be crossed. Yes, bro.
Yeah, put me in the queue. I put my 3 points in the chat, which countered Prince's arguments.
Your turn, Wizard.
So the 3 points. One is, I don't know if you heard Prince say to Acek, who was a very lovely and nice person. He said, "Monkey, don't take the banana." Like, he's a racist piece of shit, a gaslighting dog baiter, and that's the type of scumbag that Prince is. And he's not here anymore, and so therefore I'm not attacking him personally because he's not here. He exists only in the figment of my fart's imagination. Number two.
Okay, no personal attacks, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm moving on to my second point, which is essentially he says Donald Trump never could have gotten elected because of the advent of social media and the truth getting out. So that's confirming the fact that the voters were low information voters forever, and Trump proved that the fake news is just propaganda and brainwashing all of us. So he's actually telling us that, okay, now the truth is out. He's exposing us as being terrorists. That's what he's saying about Trump. And the third part is really, Prince is an anarcho-communist. He's not even a capitalist. He's a communist anarchist. And he wants regime change, murder, and terrorism, and war. And he is just a political propagandist mouthpiece living out his academic dreams in whatever Western country that... Okay, I know this is not personal. I can't use... Anyways. So let me just say that this app is really an information warrior, next level, almost you could call it like neurological cryptology, meaning that people like Prince, who have to keep creating a new account every week and has a perpetual party hat, that means they are on the wrong side of history. They are low IQ and they spread propaganda. The more party hats you see, the more you can guarantee that that person likes to spread propaganda. Now, myself, I've had 40 party hats. I've had a lot of accounts on this app. And guess what? I did everything I could do to get Donald Trump into office. I debated every liberal, Democrat, low IQ voter and taxpayer on this app that I could. And I recorded it all and put it across 40 different Instagrams and 40 different YouTubes. So I would have a record, a history of what I did to debate the low IQ voter taxpayer here in this country who's been lied to, and they don't know that they're propagandized, and that the whole point of this app is to reverse engineer people's psychology so you can open up new opportunities and potential opportunities for people that have been victims of state propaganda, victims of propaganda from terrorists, people like Prince, people like Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi, who have sold us a bucket of turds for hundreds of trillions of dollars. We got no good ROI as taxpayers on our spend for the past 20 years. We got shafted. And a lot of innocent people have died because of the military industrial complex and the banking industrial complex, the energy industrial complex. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to be personal and make personal attacks, but when you listen to propagandist terrorists like Prince and all the other free poly liars, they are wasting your time, and you give them audience, and you give them connection, and you give them content, and you give them propaganda. So be careful what you say, otherwise you fall into their web of despair because they are spiders, vampires, parasites. I am complete.
May I ask him a question?
You can ask any question you want, but I don't have to respond to you. Go ahead and make a speech like I just did. I don't want to do Q&A with you. I am moving to the audience. I don't do Q&A with you.
He called me a monkey, which is how
Boom! Who boomed the room? Boom! Who boomed the room?
When you ask me that question about plastic, people, he literally called me a monkey. It's the same way it's all pro-Palestinians, they call us the lead. Even you look at Sudan, why don't you protest in Sudan? Nearly 500,000 people have been killed in Sudan, in Congo.
So are you black, if I may ask? Are you a black person?
South Sudanese, both on that.
So are you protesting against Israel and what they're doing for the black
Why would I
population?
protest?
Just asking.
Can you answer the question? No, I'm for Israel, 100%. I'm South Sudanese. You get the difference?
They can't hear you. They kicked me to the audience.
Skinny, he's not Sudanese, he's South Sudanese.
This South Sudanese has a big
So you're not black.
You know the difference.
No, he's black.
What?
The Sudanese, they have Arab roots, and the South Sudan.
They're
are black.
different.
Sudan are black. Mohamed Ball is the tallest player ever in the NBA. We're black. So we're actually the darkest.
I was reading something. What did you say?
Exactly.
So as a black person, do you know? So as a black, yeah, but as a black person, I don't know what does Arab or South or West or whatever.
You know the difference between South Sudan and North Sudan, Skinny?
But do you?
Most passengers are passive. That's the part of passivity. So
Yeah, but
sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
my kids.
That's
I go
trusting
pick
the
my kids up
pilot.
and they get in my car. Are they trusting me, or are they just? They probably aren't even thinking that much.
Yeah.
I know they don't pay attention to traffic.
They're children. If it was an adult you were driving, then
And when you're like a child when you're on an airplane on Delta Airlines, right?
Not very well.
You don't get to go into the cockpit.
yeah, I wouldn't get up on the plane if I didn't trust the entire airline and the way they run the business, which I think you do too.
I wasn't trying to pick a fight. I just meant like from a subordination to the process and the rituals of safety. Unlike maybe the medical process. Somebody
You know,
says trust the
people-
science.
You know, people are picking their flights based on whether it's a Boeing or not.
I'm sure that happened before.
It's happening a lot right now.
I'm sure it happened before.
Why would it happen before? They're crashing out of the sky now.
Here, let me tell you. You asked. I'll slowly try to calmly answer. There's reasons people make their preference choices in a highly different space than you. Maybe they worked for Boeing and they hate Boeing, so they may not say make choices. Can I finish?
Don't be triggered. No.
Eating, bro. I can't finish. All right.
No. The element of trust. You're trying to get around this element of trust, and it's. I don't know why it triggers it that we trust the airlines or a pilot. It is trust for your money. In the money, if you don't have stocks, you've got money in the bank and some sort of wealth advisor. You trust your accountant to file your taxes properly. All the high trust elements are around risk. Otherwise, you wouldn't need trust if there was low risk.
I mean, I just think that this is a troll title, like all troll titles. I mean, trust doesn't lead to long-term prosperity. That's not what long-term prosperity is. The fake tomorrow. Trust changes. Look at all the propagandized people in this country that trusted Dr. Fauci, trusted Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, trusted the CDC. You know, real trust changes over time.
But can I say something? Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I let you loose, putting in your emotions. I'm cleaning my office at the same time. I think it's interesting the dynamic of a room of people talking about that topic. So go ahead and keep going.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I get what you're saying, Wizard, right? But I don't think you're using the right word. You're talking about accuracy. You're talking about truth, right? But there's difference between something being accurate or factual or truthful versus it being you're trusting it. So, for example, if I ask my mom, for example, hey mom, I don't have my phone, I can't check whatever, and something whatever.
Could you hire me for your campaign?
Yeah, you want to be a paid crisis actress?
I would trust her because I don't think she's trying to
oh my gosh, I'd be so good at it.
Because I trust her.
Alright, but you're gonna have to film yourself.
I know that her first intention.
What do I have to do?
You're gonna create fake. You're gonna
You're
create fake emotional videos about Hood, the guy I'm running against.
Because the trust and the
Your voice is gonna cause panic. I need your voice and your face.
Your onus that
Okay,
you have to
so
do.
I'm gonna
Right?
talk about the guy. Can I see the guy? Because I'm such a critical person
Yeah.
as it is. Like, I can come up with like the stuff.
Okay, let me
For
get you
example,
his.
if I know, I don't believe this, but for example, someone might say that they know that they have so many things to
And like, what you
on
need
and
to do is
work on
like take a
in their day-to-day life,
screenshot of his
that they
Instagram
cannot
and use
also
it as
have
the
the
green
mental
screen in the
load of worrying
background.
about medical jargon and information and fact
what you
checking all
should
that
do is
stuff
have
when they have so
moral
many
support
things to do on a daily basis. So they prefer that responsibility of due
You're right.
diligence,
This will work.
but they might defer it to.
And you know what? Even if I don't
right?
win,
Now,
it's going to get me a lot of brand name recognition for the next time I run.
They are not choosing trustworthy resources, and that's I think what you're hitting at. So they are saying,
This guy's 56 years old.
Trust doctors.
He's a rhino deep state, and my friend Max, who's Jewish, is the one who is helping me coordinate and to bring this guy down.
In some environments, because when you
he's a total loser, and he's low
if
IQ.
everyone actually did it, if everyone actually did it, then yes, it would be great.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you don't actually all do it,
Right? What kind of a name is LaHood? What a hood name, right?
100%, you're going to get a variant. That is literally what happens. It will mutate. So anybody who's going to propagate that you must take some vaccination that the whole world is not really taking, you know,
He went to University of Illinois and LaRosse College. He's a
means you will
lightweight.
have to take the vaccine every single year. Mine was
Teddy, McKay, and
So,
Luke. He's got 3
there's
kids.
things like this. Now there's choice, but then you have to fact check it with actual information that's out there. Someone mentioned about science being about skepticism and something
I'm
like
gonna
this.
pin
I
his
agree.
Instagram account.
It's not necessarily skepticism, but it's like you don't just accept every information that comes at you. You wait until a reliable source that you deemed reliable, meaning that you have had to have actually tried to look at reliable sources, and you know from your own understanding what is something that you have to defer to. You know, you might not be equipped to be knowing all of the law. You might not be equipped to know all of medicine or science or religion or whatever.
Is this
So
bitch gonna go
defer
forever?
trust to certain people.
Alright, I pinned the link.
I would place my same level of trust the same way that I would put my medical health care in. So if I'm going to go to a doctor,
I'm trying to see if I can find any dirt on
practical
him.
experience more than me, I can go ahead
Yeah,
and Google
find
my
some
symptoms
dirt
pretty
and then
accurate,
create the
then
reaction
also
response video and say, I am opposed and absolutely appalled to Darren LaHood. Darren believes that, believes this. And, you know, and just like, but use your voice.
2020, Darren posted on his Facebook that he doesn't like how the Democrats are dealing with the COVID response. I think he is wrong. He's a terrible person.
Basically, but what you need to do is get ChatGPT and like actually make it like a 60-second clip. It can't just be like, because then people that credibility is no credibility. It's got to be credible. So like you need to create a 60-second short on YouTube, and you'll be my first paid crisis actress.
Ooh, he said China has a plan. What is this guy saying? This is good. I might want to vote for him. China has a plan to replace the United States. And they're working on it every single day, is what he said in this video on YouTube when you search for him.
Yeah, so call him a war propagandist, and that he's creating propaganda to foment war and division, to further solidify his power of bullshit and propaganda. Don't believe his lies. He's trying to create a paranoia against the Chinese. It's truly propaganda. Like, it's just state propaganda. He creates lies and propaganda.
Maybe it's a threat, maybe important, maybe official, I don't know. Maybe that might be an alter ego. You got those
He's talking again about China being the CCP being the biggest threat. And he says the world is on fire and its adversaries are on the move, is what he's saying. Yeah, man, this guy's intense. What else is he saying? He has called himself a fiscal conservative focused on budget issues. LaHood serves on the House Ways and Means Committee and the Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. I'm like, wait, what? Because I read, okay, so there's a committee on the CCP. He is not on the CCP, he is on the committee on the CCP. There you go.
Keep reading. Tell us more about Darren LaHood.
It says that he's supporting a new DOJ lawsuit. Tax increases. talking about the TikTok getting purchased. He says he meets with any how do you say that word? Constituent. Yeah. What does that mean? Any, like, voter?
It means that he will meet with anybody, no matter how radical or ridiculous.
Have you met with him?
No, I'm running against him. I'm using you to create content about him.
So why don't you do, like, a Borat style, like, where you meet him?
Yeah, that's a good
idea.
idea.
And, like, film it. You know, like, you could, like... I've seen so much content in my life as a young child that my brain's probably built for this.
I think you're the crisis actor we've been looking for. You know, and I'm not saying you got to show up and do anything, but if you open up a YouTube account called Darren LaHood, Go Back to the Hood, you know, like, you would be helping the campaign tremendously. And it's through hard work of crisis actors like you that we will win this campaign against a fake Republican. He's a fake, Danny. That's the point. Is everything he does is just like him acting and pretending that his image is actually who he is on the inside. And the fact that he says, I will meet with any constituent, no matter how Democrat, liberal, or retarded you are, or stupid, I will meet with you. I will give you audience. I will platform you. Doctor has returned. The band is getting back together. This is the power, bull, energy force room you're looking for. This is the Darren LaHood 16th District fake Republican campaign to elect John with Dr. Wizard. I want to thank you all for coming. I knew you would come, and I hope you come again. Hello, welcome back, Doctor.
Doctor.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead. He wants us to listen to how
Dr.
it is.
TA Don was just here.
I know, I just spoke with him, Dr. Muhammad.
Okay.
And, you know, for people who say maybe that I am anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic, anti-terrorism, I have Dr. Muhammad here with us. Dr. Muhammad, would you say that I'm a racist, a bigot, or that I don't believe in coexistence and inclusion?
No, I think you treat everyone fairly, especially when you introduce them as guests on your world premiere podcast. I think you extend your kindness and empathy to others, whether they're Islamic, Christian, Jewish. You love us all. You're a good doctor.
Wow. That's really a fantastic endorsement. Book it, Danny. Put that endorsement in the books. We're going to put that in the journal. Thank you so much all for coming. We are now moving on to the next stage of this morning podcast against Darren LaHood, the fake Republican. We are going to play the Musk Doge team address government waste and fraud. Where was Darren LaHood addressing all of this waste and fraud in government? Never heard about him, never heard him talk about it. He says he's working on the budget. He's a conservative, fiscal conservative, but as we know, that's just not true.
Completed is states who want to participate must submit a letter of intent. After doing that, they can submit a request for up to $5 million in planning grants. Then the NTIA, step 4, has to review and approve and award, again, planning grants, not broadband grants, planning grants. And it's still at the NTIA. It's still at the first step. All right, so the NTIA must issue a NOFA within 180 days. States who want to participate must submit their letter of intent. Step 3, they can request up to $5 million in planning grants. Just planning. Just planning. Step 4, the requests are reviewed, approved, and awarded by the NTIA, which currently all 56, 3 years later, all 56 applicants have passed through at least step 5. It took more than 3 years, so it's a long time. States must submit a 5-year action plan. The states kind of go back and they kind of think about how we're going to do this, and they don't just say, okay, thank you for the money, we're going to spend it, and you can see how it worked out later. we're like, here's our 5-year action plan. Then the FCC must publish the broadband data maps before NTIA allocates funds. So having done the NOFO, the letters of intent, the request for planning grants, then the review, approval, and awarding of the planning grants, then the 5-year action plans. In between that, the federal government has to put forward a map saying where it thinks we need rural broadband subsidies. And then, of course, the states need an opportunity to challenge the map for accuracy. And you can imagine this doesn't all happen in like a day. Okay, so then the NTIA, step 7, has to use the FCC maps to make allocation decisions. Then, having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grants, it's hard even to talk about this, man. Step 7 is NTIA must use the FCC maps that were already challenged for allocation decisions. Then, having submitted all this, I think this one is actually quite amazing. Yeah. Having submitted their 5-year plans or letters of intent, step 8 is states must submit an initial proposal to the NTIA. Then, is that the result of their $5 million planning fund? This I assume, but then what was the 5-year plan? And what the fuck did they apply for? What was their NOFO? Like, if the 5-year action plan isn't the initial proposal, then what's the 5-year action? Forget NOFO. Okay. MOFO. Step 9. NTIA must review and approve each state's, again, initial proposal. By my read, we have had at least 2 initial proposals here, but that's a different issue. Oh my God. Step 10, states must...
So that's on Geiger Capital. There's 18 million views of that, and that's Jon Stewart reacting to essentially broadband spending in the hundreds of billions of dollars for access to low-income or urban or suburban, rural access. It's all fucking a scam. So... Again, this is the campaign to elect John this Saturday, March 29, 2025. Danny is our first paid crisis actor. Thank you, Danny, for being a participant of this campaign. I'll send you the waiver so your voice and image can be utilized in our campaign to primary and unseat Darren LaHood in the 16th District. This is campaign day number 2. Thank you for being here. We're going to continue the show. So up next, we are going to play the Elon Musk Fox interview where he calls out the government for wasting hundreds of billions of dollars. Get ready. Not a lot of people want to listen to this type of stuff on Clown House. They want to live in their own little bubble. But it's not stopping. Doge is douging. And a lot of these douches on this app are about to get doged. It's happening again.
The band is getting back together. World premiere 2025.
It's so amazing. The band is getting back together. Okay, listen to this. This is... Chicken Hillary's calling. My campaign coordinator. Hello, Chicken Hillary. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Today is day number 2 on the campaign. We're about to listen to Elon Musk talk to Fox News. You called just in time. So I wanted to thank you for volunteering to be my campaign coordinator number 2. God bless you. Here we go.
There's a lot of interest in this. First let me start with you, Elon. What are the budgetary savings goals, and how much do you think you've achieved so far?
Our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. So from a nominal deficit of $2 trillion to try and cut the deficit in half to $1 trillion.
Okay, go ahead, Chicken Hillary. I'll give you 30 seconds since you decided to call into the campaign HQ. Go ahead, Chicken Hillary.
And throwing up in my mouth.
Okay.
He's such a fucking dick. I hate him.
You hate Elon Musk? Adrian Dittman?
No, I like.
Oh.
John Kitover.
Oh, okay, cool.
Him, I hate.
You hate Adrian Dittman and Elon Musk?
I hate him.
Wow, you hate him.
I hate him.
We looked at a total federal spending to drop the federal spending from $7 trillion to $6 trillion. We want to reduce the spending by eliminating waste and fraud, reduce the spending by 15%, which seems really quite achievable. The government is not efficient, and there's a lot of waste and fraud, so we feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
I'm going to talk to all the
If not
guys.
making it better.
I'm going to talk to all the guys here about the specifics, but for you, what's the most astonishing thing you found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually.
Oh my God.
For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey. Do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
You technically are a special government employee, and you're supposed to be 130 days. Are you going to continue past that, or do you think that's what you're going to do? Or?
Well, I think we will have accomplished most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion within that time frame.
So in that time frame, 130
yes.
days. And the process is a report at some point at 100 days? Or?
Not really a report. We are cutting the waste and fraud in real time. So every day that passes, our goal is to reduce the waste and fraud by $4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week. And so far we are succeeding.
And we're going to talk in the specifics, but there obviously are Doge critics who are reading all kinds of stuff. Obviously lawmakers on the other side of the aisle are attacking you, and they characterize the approach as this: fire, ready, and then aim. And how do you approach that? How do you respond to that?
Well, I do agree that we actually want to be careful in the cuts, so we want to measure twice, if not thrice, and cut once. Actually, that is our approach. They may characterize it as shooting from the hip, but it is anything but that. Which is not to say that we don't make mistakes. If we would approach this with the standard of making no mistakes at all, that would be like saying someone in baseball's got to bat 1,000. That's impossible. So when we do make mistakes, we correct them quickly, and we move on.
Some people say this shouldn't take a rocket scientist. Steve Davis, you are a rocket scientist. You used to be. Yeah, and now essentially you're the chief operating officer of Doge. Day-to-day operations. Fair to say?
Yeah, part of the Doge team.
So how did you end up here? What's the biggest challenge you see?
The reason I'm here, which is probably for many, is that I think the goal is incredibly inspiring. I think most of the taxpayers in the country would agree that in order to have the country going bankrupt would be a very bad thing, and therefore the country going not bankrupt is a good thing. That all of us are willing to kind of put our lives on hold in order to do. I think the thing that's special right now is we actually believe there's a chance to succeed. That there's an administration that's supportive and a great cabinet and just a great group that will actually make success a possible outcome. And I think that's, given the inspiring mission and given the non-zero chance of success, it was worth doing.
Yeah, I'd just like to sort of re-emphasize that point. The success of Doge is only possible with President Trump and with the outstanding cabinet that he selected. It would be impossible without the support of the president and the cabinet.
But you're finding the money. I mean, it's big numbers, right?
Yeah, like Elon said, the minimum impulse bid is often $1 billion. So for example, the $830 million, which was the online survey, that's an enormous amount of money that wouldn't have been found if the Doge team wasn't working with it, in that case, the Department of Interior. But then taking it one step further, Doge then publishes these things on our website for maximum transparency. So now the general public, it would have been impossible for the general public to have seen that. Now anyone can just log into Doge.gov anytime and see these payments. As they're not yet in real time, they're close, but they'll probably be in real time within the next few weeks.
But the process, it still involves Congress, right? At some level.
We're trying to keep Congress as informed as possible, but the law does say that money needs to be spent correctly. It should not be spent fraudulently or wastefully. It's not contrary to Congress to avoid waste and fraud. It is consistent with the law and consistent with Congress. And we've seen actually great support, at least from the Republican side of the House, and occasionally some Democrats too. It's nice to see people cross the aisle once in a while. Usually when they attack Doge, they never attack any of the specifics. So they'll say what we're doing is somehow unconstitutional or legal or whatever. We're like, well, which line of the cost savings do you disagree with? And they can't point to any. And we list them all on Doge.gov and the Doge handle on X. And you'll see just outrageous things, one outrageous thing after another.
Joe Gabbia, besides Elon, you're one of several billionaires here, co-founder of Airbnb, and you wanted to help out.
I bumped into Anthony and Elon probably back in February, and they told me something about a mine that dealt with retirement, and they said they needed somebody to help out to fix retirement in the government. I loved the challenge, so I jumped on board, and it turns out there is actually a mine in Pennsylvania that houses every paper document for the retirement process in the government. Now picture this. This giant cave has 22,000 filing cabinets, stacked 10 high to house 400 million pieces of paper. It's a process that started in the 1950s and largely hasn't changed in the last 70 years. And so as you dug into it, we found retirement cases that had so much paper, they had to fit it on a shipping pallet. So the process takes many months, and we're going to make it just many days.
Will it be digitized, or how?
Yeah, absolutely. So this will be an online digital process that will take just a few days at most. And I really think, it's an injustice to civil servants who are subjected to these processes that are older than the age of half the people watching your show tonight. So we really believe that the government can have an Apple Store-like experience, beautifully designed, great user experience, modern systems.
Because right now, it's by hand.
Yes, but the retirement process is all by paper, literally with people carrying paper in manila envelopes into this gigantic mine.
So they can't retire more than a certain number every month.
Yes.
About 8,000 a month.
That's how the reason we discovered it was we were saying, like, let's encourage voluntary retirement. And so most they could do is 8,000 a month. And even under normal circumstances, it can take 6 to 9 months just to have your retirement paperwork processed. And they often get the calculations wrong. So we're like, well, why would it take so long to retire? And they're like, well, because of the mine. They're like, what do you mean a mine? What's a mine got to do with retiring? And that's where we discovered that all the retirement stuff is still done by paper in a process that looks identical to what occurred in the 1950s. Like, you took a snapshot of the mine when it first started in the 50s to today, it looks the same.
It's amazing. So how long do you think it will take to turn over?
We're working as fast as we can. Probably the next couple of months we'll have this overhauled.